So I think I figured out how to use the thermal energy stuff like someone asked for before. And how you do it is pretty complicated. I don't really want to go through it, but I'm going to have to. Let's start with my first one, the test. This is my first test. You need a lot of power to lift this thing in the atmosphere because this is the engine I was using. And what you need for this is a lot of heat sinks and radiators to control the heat, and then a salt reactor to generate you oh, okay, I'm gonna explain what this does. So for all of these, what you need is the engine doesn't tell you this, which is kind of annoying, but what you need for it, it says you just need fusion pellets. You don't even need those because it comes with those. If you right click on it, fusion pellets, the reason you have this, it doesn't seem to generate anything, but it generates thermal power, and that you really need because it doesn't launch without thermal power. And the fusion pellets just add on to that. These just make sure that the engine doesn't immediately do that, which it doesn't do when you launch it. Batteries, just to make sure, you know, pretty normal stuff. A lot of power to launch it into the sky. Alright, let's go to the second one I made, which I believe was the big boy. Yeah. This one uses the antimatter engine, as you can see. This one has a lot more powerful heating, so that's why there's a lot of heaters on this one. The heaters didn't really work. I'll launch this one because I think this one's the most interesting, but this one needs liquid He3, LH2, and liquid deuterium. Now, it has a bunch of heat radiators, like I said, heat sink, which doesn't actually really help for some reason, but this one also has this tankage right here, which I believe is antimatter storage, which you're going to need because it's an antimatter engine. And what's under this one? Oh, it's a heat sink. It's a heat sink down there. This one's a little more simple, and it's got a lot of engines down here, and I really like how that looks, so I'm going to show you how that looks later. But then, final one, big boy 2. It's least complex because it uses one of these, these engines up here. One second. These engines, and these engines pretty much just, they just need liquid hydrogen. And that's it. So like I said, I'm gonna launch this one. This one's really powerful. This one's really powerful. I'm gonna watch this one and the big boy one. I was not very creative with names today. Alright, so here's the launch of it. It's going to be quite an interesting launch, because it starts off pretty slow, but then you'll see why it's powerful. I don't like that they don't have plumes. All of them don't have plumes, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. So this one isn't one that you need to manage the heat for, but all the other ones, they do. I think all the other ones, not sure. Like, we're already at 4,500 meters per second, or it gets to that. The thrust on this is insane. Like, if you have more of these, you have a lot of delta V. Only problem is it only burns for 70 seconds. It goes up to a thrust of 3,000, I think. That was us breaking the sound barrier. all the way up here. 3,000, 3,000, yep. And as you can see, pretty powerful. We can even burn retrograde, I think. This thing could get to orbit by itself. It's pretty crazy. This one's pretty simple as opposed to the other ones, but I'll just show you the other one. You just have to activate all the heat sinks. That's the only hard thing about it. And then the big boy one is the other one. And this one's going to be a little bit complex. So, let's see. They're not complex to launch, they're just complex to build, and I'm just showing you how they launch. Like this one has all the I can't spell, can I? Whatever, how do you spell Sterling? Just normally. Like this, we did this engine before. You just need to do this engine's a bit more complex, I think. I'll put in a video of that one too. That one's a lot complex though. It's gonna be a separate video because this one's really complex, I think. It's not that it's very good though. It's like, no, it's actually not that complex and it's not very good. But here is the antimatter engine. Not the big one, but it's a antimatter engine, because over here, I don't know if I'm showing this or not, but it's in the, oh, it's a fusion engine. There's only one antimatter engine. Oh, so you don't need the antimatter storage that I have. Okay, well, whatever. It's fine. I guess we're all learning something. I didn't know it wasn't an antimatter engine, but again, for this one, you're gonna need a lot of thrust to take it off of the surface, and I love that sound. Again, this one, like I said before, you need a lot of heat things, and it heats up very quickly. You'll see this later, though. Alright, cool. Now we're going to test the engine. Okay, this one has a bunch of modes. It has the heavy mode, which I think just cranks up the heat a lot, and the light mode, which doesn't do that, so. And then, when you light it, it doesn't go that fast, but it's because it's a really efficient engine. Oh, I need to turn on all the radiators. This one is not as powerful, but like I said, I'll do a separate one for the antimatter and the other one that I said I was going to do a other one for. And you need a lot more heat than I did, like a heat generators than I did. So it will just like explode. Don't use this. Not explode, it'll do this. Yeah, it'll just do that. But that's how you do it. Like, you got the deuterium, the tank, you got all the tankage. Can't believe they're doing that. It's raining outside, if you can hear that. But yeah, you could also remove the antimatter and just replace that with like tons of heat sinks. Because the heat sinks, we love heat sinks. It goes up really fast though, so just a warning about that one, because that fusion engine is really powerful. I'll do a separate one for the antimatter and stuff if you want it. But yeah,